Hashtag white silence. We are watching you. Like, get fucked. Get fucked. Get fucked. Get fucked. Get fucked.
Go girl. Go girl. You 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 go girl. You go girl. Get on the dance floor and move your body till you can't no more. Touch the ground, cause I like the way you do the brown. You make me wanna flip. Plus I love the way you shake them hips from side to side. Always keeping my nature on the ride till you got it going on. And you're the only one having fun watching the niggas sweat and how it feels when you wet.
Now with text-to-speech and enumeration in Espanol.
Now what happened?
A lot of you are going to probably hate me, or like a large percentage will probably hate me after this, but it's just like, I don't care. Okay? You can hate me. It's fine. I'm not here to be your bestie. Okay? I'm an educator. I'm here to speak the truth on my platform. I've seen a lot of people on social media who have just been posting because they have felt intimidated and bullied, and they're not being authentic and genuine. And that makes me sad. I'm never going to be bullied into posting what you want me to post, like a lot of the vegan pages were. I just see these black squares and people, I just know they're not being authentic. Get fucked.
Now what happened?
So a bunch of crazy Marxist libtards began attacking Freelee, demanding that she parrot the moronic BLM garbage craziness, that it's all whitey's fault and down with America, throw the founders' ideas out, throw out the Constitution, destroy America as a democratic republic based upon the principles of liberty, and replace it with a tyranny driven by invading hordes.
Yeah, that's it, Ticket.
Here's an example of the kind of moron I'm talking about.
And so I'm going to start off first with the group that I was researching a couple months ago, probably before this whole COVID crisis ever happened, and they're the Southern Poverty Law Center. So in case you never heard of the Southern Poverty Law Center, they are dedicated to fighting hate and bigotry and to seeking justice for the most vulnerable members of our society. And I fully support their dedication to fighting hate. They monitor hate groups and other extremists throughout the United States and expose their activities to the public, the media, and law enforcement. Hate groups like the Ku Klux Klan, the neo-Nazis, neo-Confederates, racist skinheads, and so on. And they use their litigation powers to bring justice for the most vulnerable. They say here that for more than 4 decades, they've won landmark cases that brought systemic reforms in the Deep South. So if you've been watching my live streams on YouTube on Happy Healthy Vegan, you're probably aware of my zero tolerance for racism, zero tolerance for hatred. And to find a group like the Southern Poverty Law Center, who makes tracking racist groups, hate groups like this, their top priority. They even have a database. You can go click on your home state and see which hate groups exist there. Anyway, to find a group like this, yes, I'm going to give them the bulk of my unspent campaign funds. So Southern Poverty Law Center got $130.33.
Give me a break. The Southern Poverty Law Center now lists people like Ben Carson, Laura Ingraham, and Jeannie Pirro as extremists. But it doesn't list Antifa, the hate group that beats up people on the right. The center's become a hate group itself. It's now a left-wing, money-grabbing slander machine.
So with the remainder of my unspent campaign funds, I'm going to donate the rest of it to Black Lives Matter, and they need no introduction.
Well,
what is the goal?
The goal is to tell black people that we're victims, that discrimination and racism remain major problems in America when in fact they don't, and they want black people to vote for the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party gets 95% of the black vote, and the reason they get it is because blacks are convinced that the #1 issue facing the country right now is social justice, racist white cops, discrimination, systemic racism, microaggression, whatever new word they come up with, and it's a bunch of nonsense. The #1 problem domestically facing this country is a breakdown of the family. And President Obama said it, I didn't. A black kid, or kid, not just a black kid, a kid raised without a dad is 5 times more likely to be poor and commit crimes, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, and 20 times more likely to end up in jail. So you're far more likely to end up in jail without having a dad than you are because of a white racist cop.
Right. So, but you wouldn't not acknowledge that there are some systemic issues.
Give me an example. Tell me what you think the most systemic racist issue is. What is it?
Well, I would say that because black people in most cases, in many cases, were descendants of slaves, that racism as an institution, that it just, a certain amount of it just exists.
2015? Give me the most blatant racist example you can come up with right now.
I think you could probably find evidence that, in general, cops are more willing to shoot if the perpetrator is black
What's your data?
than white.
What's your basis for saying that? Last year...
Well, look, I know a lot of people would say, look what's going on in Chicago.
I know what they would say.
Yeah.
I'm talking about what the facts are. 965 people were shot by cops last year and killed. 4% of them were white cops shooting unarmed blacks. In Chicago in 2011, 21 people were shot and killed by cops. In 2015, there were 7. In Chicago, which is a third black, a third white, and a third Hispanic, 70% of the homicides are black on black. About 40 per month, almost 500 per year last year in Chicago, and 75% of them are unsolved. Where is the Black Lives Matter on that? The idea that a racist white cop shooting unarmed black people is a peril to black people is BS. It's complete and total BS. And the reason for these so-called activists saying this is the assumption that racism remains a major problem in America. The media, CNN, especially MSNBC, runs down whenever a black cop shoots somebody, and it's some march on Washington. It's ridiculous.
Larry Elder is a libertarian and has been railing on this subject as a broadcaster in LA County since the 90s. The scumbag, if he had half a brain, could have easily caught one of Larry's thousands of radio shows on the subject. But the scumbag is a closed-minded demo-rat moron, so who knows? Larry's story is that his father was a very strong-minded person, who taught Larry by example how to be strong-willed and independent. Larry's father was a Republican, a black Republican. God bless Larry Elder and all he has done for political sanity. After decades of this, Larry is starting to get some traction and a lot of followers. He just came out with a movie entitled Uncle Tom. Larry has a tremendous sense of humor. Larry is a man, the scumbag is a very stupid boy. One of Larry's followers is the very beautiful and bright Candace Owens.
A couple of weeks ago, I posted a video on Facebook which got a lot of traction, over 100 million views in just 1 week, and was shared across the world's many different languages, in which I discussed the Black Lives Matter movement and why I was disagreeing with the mainstream narrative, particularly the one that was being produced surrounding the George Floyd killing. Now, I want to be extra clear here again, as I was then. George Floyd did not deserve to die on that day, and I think everybody in America agreed. There was not a single person that was defending Derek Chauvin. But what I was questioning beyond that was just the narrative that this person was a good individual. I was discussing the tendency in Black America for us to uplift criminals, to pretend that they are heroes and martyrs when they die at the hand of white individuals. And I was discussing George Floyd's record, his own lifestyle of terrorizing the black community, a man who had spent 9 different stints in jail and in prison. Of course, many people around the world thought that this video was something that should be discussed and should be debated, and other people were completely outraged. Tons of reactions, some good and some bad, some in between maybe. Probably the biggest reaction, or the most well-known person who reacted was, of course, comedian Dave Chappelle. He did a stand-up, said some things that I cannot repeat for my audiences, said he wanted to assault me in my lady parts because he felt that I was diminishing the death of George Floyd by bringing up his record. In fact, he thought that the streets, which he described as alive, were justified in their reactions.
Dave Chappelle is just some dumb entertainment clown who needs to learn how to stay in his lane. The Chappelle moron, in a super lame attempt to become politically relevant, decides to attack the beautiful Candace. Her general message is very important, which is that if black people are going to get off the food stamps demo-rat slave plantation, they are going to have to learn how to live like responsible, intelligent, hard-working Americans, like Larry Elder or Freelee for that matter. As a libertarian, I don't excuse every dumb sack of shit in a cop suit or a judge's suit, hardly. Nevertheless, it was the demo-rats who defended slavery during the Civil War and shot Lincoln in the process, who worked so hard to free the slaves. And now the demo-rats are trying to erase the memory of Lincoln and take down his statue along with the other great founders of this free country. This genius channel doesn't change its message every other day, which remains the same, which is, It's all about liberty, its development, and its protection, which requires border control, mass deportation, and the elimination of government scams and overreach and the scams to use governments for those purposes. Getting back to the scumbag. This moron ran for city council in some sanctuary city shithole called Long Beach, California. A demo rat shithole, which would be where you would typically find riots occurring, again promoted and incited and inflamed by scumbags. This scumbag lost his run for city council as a local libtard. This maggot was even working with some other maggot on changing the election process, to eliminate the protection of the Electoral College. This scam is all part of the invasion scam, which is, aid and abet invaders, help them vote without any controls or protections, and bingo, you have a destroyed country run by invaders, sort of like New Venezuela.
Here shaking his head on the corner. This is the kind of stuff. Sir, can I talk to you real quickly? Did you see this? You were shaking your head. You were shaking your head.
The most disgusting exhibition of human behavior so far this century. That's all I can say. These guys were out here. They weren't trying to send a message about Mr. Floyd. There were groups of people, 5 to 20, groups of cars, 3 to 5, out here looting. One guy had a pipe wrench about this high. And this is unnecessary. This doesn't send a message. It doesn't say, let's get socially involved, let's become registered voters, let's hold everyone accountable. This is no peace, no justice. Well, since it's going on, I'm not only going to get even, I'm going to get ahead. And that's what all this is about.
When I first spotted you, you were standing still, just shaking your head. The thoughts that were going through your mind at that point?
Well, a guy that's my age lived through the race riots, went through the, and that's in Chicago, where they tore up our own neighborhoods, and then they shook their heads. No services will return for, or did return for 25, 30 years. This area here, it's, downtown Long Beach, no one comes downtown Long Beach to shop. So I don't, like I said, I'll get mine, I'll get more than mine, forget about getting even, let me try to make a profit. And that's what this was about. The CVS, they were stealing liquor. They broke into the nail salon over there. This is unnecessary. This doesn't say anything about making change.
I appreciate your comment. Your name, sir?
My name is L.P. Simmons.
Mr. Simmons, thank you so much. You're Long Beach resident?
Yes, ma'am.
You would think that Freelee would get a lot of support for her brave and valiant stand, which she does have some. But unfortunately there are a lot of crazy fake vegan scumbags out there that are attacking her. Thankfully there are strong people in this world like Freelee, Candace, and Larry. But unfortunately there are a lot of scumbags as well, and we are going to have to deal with them sooner or later, if we are going to sustain our freedoms and the environments that we were blessed with, that scumbags want to take away and destroy. Hopefully we can stop them at the borders and mass deport the anti-American invaders that have no business here other than to degrade and eventually destroy the country as we know it.
The solution is very simple. The United States has a choice. Either A, carve us a piece of land out here, we'll take Texas, or don't stop us when we exodus up out of here and go somewhere where they will give us our own land to build our own nation.
Lincoln had a solution, which was to mass deport the Negro slaves back to Africa or possibly South America, but out of North America, but keep the ones who wanted to assimilate and become peace-loving Americans and not the bullshit you see now.
Like, get fucked.